Welcome to a belated Sunday live stream. It's actually now Monday, the day after the night before. So, over the last few days, the main developments in the Russo-Ukrainian war have been diplomatic. Basically, the European allies of Ukraine want Russia to agree to a 30-day ceasefire, something that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has agreed to many times over the roughly last 2 months to no avail. Russia has at most offered temporary truces, and normally, even if these were given unilaterally, they did not actually materialize into a truce that was comprehensive. Vladimir Putin, the Russian leader, has used a little bit of political chicanery in the sense that he has not agreed to a ceasefire, but now wants to meet in person to basically negotiate an agreement. The bottom line is that both parties are effectively trying to manipulate the situation with respect to the US and the US President Donald Trump to try and stay in his good graces in order to limit the potential US reactions that could negatively affect either party. In the almost certain case that there is no, never mind, peace agreement, but very likely that there will be even a comprehensive ceasefire. Donald Trump has, for his part, emphasized that Zelensky should basically meet with Vladimir Putin. Zelensky has agreed. However, it's not clear whether Vladimir Putin will actually agree to this and whether anything substantive would come out of it. Both parties are more or less fixed to succeeding from their points of view. Russia, if we look at the origins of the war, Russia does not accept that Ukraine can be independent of Moscow, whilst Ukraine does not want to remain in Russia's orbit. And without a decisive military victory for either side on the battlefield, it looks unlikely that either Russia or Ukraine will feel compelled to agree to the other side's demands. So we are a long way away from really anything substantive in terms of negotiations, never mind any sort of permanent peace agreement. And that was pretty much foreseeable when Donald Trump was making his campaign promises that he would solve the war in a day, 30 days, 100 days. It would be quite an achievement if this was resolved diplomatically within his, say, first 2 years in office. That seems to be the situation right now in terms of perspectives. Important event today, in principle, will be the 17th EU sanctions package against Russia. Basically, the demand is that Putin accepts a ceasefire before the talks that potentially could take place between Vladimir Zelensky and Vladimir Putin. And there is actually a deadline of today, Monday, in order for Russia to agree. Otherwise, there will be a 17th sanctions package from the EU against Russia. So sanctions tightening ever so slightly. There isn't presumably that much more possibility to extend sanctions as Russia already faces quite comprehensive ones. It's more about the secondary sanctions and what would happen if the US were to further enforce sanctions, secondary sanctions. So, for example, Chinese banks that do business with Russian companies, and this would have a significant further impact on Russia and its economy. Remember, as I've been saying for almost a year at this point, in 2025, Russia faces three major problems that they need resolutions to: manpower, money, and materiel. They will start to run in short supply for Russia to continue its intensive war effort by the end of the year unless they find solutions for them. So obviously the economy is about money, but also it is about being able to use that money to produce resources for the war. And Russia has been burning through its Soviet-era stocks at quite a quick pace, and they will start to run out of some of those in certain areas by the end of 2025. They would need money or resources in order to replace those, and obviously then the manpower is obviously impacted by that. The amount of money Russia can pay primarily men to go and fight in Ukraine is also quite critical, and the other options that those men can take advantage of in the Russian economy. So the Russian economy is one of the key points, the ability to wage war. And by the end of the year, the Russian economy will face major difficulty. And it will be interesting to see if they can figure out a solution to avoid severe problems that could lead to some political changes in Moscow. So, as always, drop your comments down below. I will be making more content this week in terms of more videos for the channel. If you are going to Ukraine, I have my guide down below in the description. You can go and purchase there. Not only will it give you the logistical and safety information for traveling to Ukraine, I'll give you a unique guide for the hospitality spots, so cafes, restaurants, etc., bars as well in cities like Kyiv, Odessa, Lviv, Chernovtsi, and Hushrad, the cities that are a bit further from the front lines in Ukraine and a bit safer relatively. And I will see you on the next live stream, in the next video. My name again, once again, is Connor Klein, and I'm an expert in international relations. So this channel is to give you a more unique and interesting perspective because I spend so much time on the ground in Ukraine. As you can see, I'm actually away. I'm in Riga and Latvia at the moment, but will be returning to Ukraine very soon, presumably in the next week or so. So see you in the next video. До побачення. And as always, Slava Ukraini, do перемоги.